Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Good morning, students. Now we have come to a new video. This is actually as per your syllabus in week 13, unit 10, behavior and conflicts with the group, chapter 13. So, this is the small chapter which is on behavior and conflicts. I want to show this to you just for a knowledge base which you can have more of a understanding what behavior and a conflict within a group. As we have been seeing from the start of this course, how employees behave in their organization and how the behavior has an importance of any person, that is towards a colleague or a boss, or how he tries to manifold the importance of keeping in with the policies and procedures of discipline for an organization. We have just seen now the outline of groups and how does the teams work in this organization, or how does this importance of groups and teams they have. As per the syllabus, we have limited amount of topic for this chapter, that is as per your textbook also. You just outline this for four areas: group dynamics, factors affecting group performance, teams, and group conflict. Now let's understand what is group dynamics. A group dynamic, what is a group? Two or more people can be called a group. The following criteria must be met. The members perceive themselves as a group. The group provide rewards corresponding, that is, effects of common goal. The event that affect one member of a group will affect the other member. Common goal and aim to purpose, shared by the group members. So you can just understand how groups work, or dynamics of a group works. Why people join groups, as an example I can give you, even when you have your groups in your college. Likewise, people in organization have their own needs. They have particular psychological needs, survival needs, commonality or situational needs for why they join the groups. As you can see, psychological affiliation and identification, survival for emotional support and all, then commonality, that is for common interest and goal, situation for physical proximity, means being nearer to one another, or for any other assignments as such. Group dynamics is why people join group, because of affiliation identification. We have already seen this in the leadership style also, in which the individual leads by caring about others, and that is most effective in a climate of anxiety. And the identification, the needs to associate ourselves with the image projected by other people or objects, that is how they come in a particular response for one another. Now the second point, why the groups have their importance, and what are the dynamics that is affecting a group performance. Now, group cohesiveness. The cohesiveness is, you can call it as something which is togetherness, or something which brings them together, that is the group homogeneity. Homogeneous, there are three types of different groups, that is homogeneous, heterogeneous, slightly heterogeneous, and then the stability of each member of those groups, and the isolation and the importance of group size. We will be just discussing it now. Group size and novelties. Group cohesiveness, the extent to which members of a group like and trust one another. The homogeneity of the group is the extent to which the members are similar. Homogeneous groups are members who share the same characteristics. Heterogeneous are the members who share few similarities. Slightly heterogeneous are groups in which few members have different characteristics from the rest of the group. Stability, isolation, outside pressure, group status. These are the factors that affect the performance of the group in a particular organization. Means, when a particular group is working, other people from the other group, how they make them get into those importance of the performances. The stability is the extent to which the member of a group remains constant or consistent over time. Isolation, the degree of physical distance of a group from other groups. Outside pressure, the amount of psychological pressure placed on a group by people who are not members of the group. That is the people who try to say, oh, you have not done this or not finished the task, and the people who belong to another group. Group status is the esteem in which the group is held by people not in the group. Now, moving on, we have some factors, that is the types of tasks that are given for small groups, that are additive, conjunctive, and disjunctive. You can just check this out, that is the task which the group perform is equal to the sum of performance of each individual group, means the total equal of the sum of performances of individual group. How there are people working in one particular area. Conjunctive tasks are which the group performance is dependent on the performance of the least effective group member. Disjunctive task for which people performance of a group is based on performance of its most talented member. There are many examples for the additive, conjunctive, and disjunctive tasks. You can just refer even your textbooks also. Social impact theory states that the addition of a group member has the greatest effect of a group behavior when the size of the group is small, that is, when it is cohesive. And the second factor affecting the importance is of performance is communication. This is also very important for any group. The manner in which members of a group communicate with each another is chain or communication, centralized communication, circle or open. You can see how they react to one another, as the arrow mark indicates the kind of communication between three of them in a form of a chain, centralized, open, or a circle kind of communication. Now, the categories of group roles, that is task oriented, social oriented, and individual roles, offering new ideas, coordination activities, encouraging group cohesiveness or encouraging participation, blocking group activities, calling attention to oneself, is the categories of group roles. Moving on, there are presence of others, means how the group perform in presence of others. We have seen this earlier also, social facilitation and inhabitation theory, which explains that when there are people present, the kind of the performance becomes more active, and comparison of performances like he's done better, the other one has done better, makes him more greater effect on the performance, and if evaluation also gives an apprehension. Social loafing effort would be noticed, free rider theory and sucker effect theory. As we have seen earlier again, social loafing theory and how a person tries to be more easy on himself in a group because he knows that the other people in the group are going to somehow finish the task, and then he takes a free rider theory which explains on that, or a sucker effect theory has a similar kind of positioning. Now, the presence of others, social facilitation, social inhabitation, or social inhibition, mere presence, comparison, evaluation, appraisal. If you read this, you will understand it more correctly. What is all about this presence of others? Moving on, Why social loafing occurs? Very important. Efforts won't be noticed. Free rider theory, sucker effect. As I just told you, some examples also could be a person working on the effort that he thinks he's the most clear one, who is not more interested, thinking others can do a chance. That is, efforts will not be noticed, there's a little chance of an individual reward. Free rider, that is effort necessary, does not make as hard as he would if he were alone. Or sucker effect is, that is, a member notices that other groups are making the work hard, so he plays him for a sucker. Now, factors affecting group performances. Again, the factors, if you see now, individual dominance, groupthink. Groupthink is an important factor here. One member, a leader or a group member, dominates the whole group. Groupthink is a state of mind in which a group is so concentrated about its own cohesiveness that it ignores the importance. Means how much the importance, if five people are there and or four people are there in a group, how it tries to take a decisive decision on a particular task or a particular important event, and how it gives the importance for a group performance. It can occur when the group is cohesive, means small, is isolated from others, believe it's infallible, it's morally superior, is under pressure to conform, has a leader who promotes a favorite solution, has gatekeepers who keep information from others. Now, group versus individual performances, two kinds of groups, nominal and interactive groups. You can just read it and understand it carefully. Now, teams is a very important part here. Now, this team is a collection of three or more individuals. Please read this carefully, who interact intensively to provide organizational product plan, decision or service. Characteristics of a team: identification, interdependence, power differentiation, social distance, conflict management, tactics and negotiation process. In any organization or an industry, the kind of teams, nowadays, if you see, the most of the companies like MNCs work mostly on teams. Even in SABIC, I'm told there are being working on teams. GE follow the pattern of teams also, because they feel they are more realistic and they are more result oriented, as provide a product plan, decision or service. So identification is the extent to which a group member identify with the team rather than the groups. Interdependence, to which the team member needs and rely on other team members. Power differentiation, extent to which a team member have the same level of power and respect. Social distance, to the extent to which member treat each other in a friendly, informal manner. Conflict management tactics, the team members respond to conflicts by collaborating. Negotiation process, in teams, members negotiate in a win-win particular style. So, types of teams: work teams, parallel teams, project teams, management teams, and virtual teams. You can read this carefully, and this is nothing much I can explain on this. Development of phases of teams. This is very important. This you must have seen even when you work on a team in a particular presentation or in any other form. That is, a team is forming, a team member get to know one another, everyone is on their good behavior. Group clarifies its mission, storming, disagreement and frustration sets in, norming, group member work at easing tension, then acceptance of a team, then D, performing goals get accomplished. So these are very important part of this chapter, development phases of the team, and why team doesn't work always or always work. That is, excessive team requirement, lack of empowerment, lack of skill, distrust to team process, unclear objectives, and conflicts. Now, this chapter has a big importance to conflicts in organizations, because psychological and behavioral reactions to perception that another person, means the opposite person, is keeping you away from reaching a goal, taking away your right to behave in a certain way, violating the expectancies of a relationship. That is a conflict. Degrees of conflict is functional and dysfunctional. Moderate degree of conflict that results in increased performance or better interpersonal relation. Dysfunctional is the conflict that keeps people from working together, lessens productivity, spreads to other areas, or increases turnover. Please remember this. Now, consequences can be many, but you can just read this and understand: decreased productivity, low morale, absenteeism, stress, turnover, lawsuits, violence, etc. Types of causes for conflicts. When causes happen in groups or teams, it is interpersonal, individual to group or group. Cause could be anything like task dependence, competition for resources, jurisdiction ambiguity. That means the way of legal lawsuits or any other important things which have not got clarity in that particular conflict. Communication barriers like physical, cultural, psychological, or personality. Now, this is a very interesting part of conflicts, which are called as avoiding, accommodating, forcing, collaborating, and compromising styles. This kind of styles have different ways of people reaction towards any kind of a conflict in an organization, where people try to avoid a conflict. When people have withdraw, they try to say, no, no, I have not done anything, we are just okay. And triangling is something trying to make more of a conflict for no reason, and accommodating and forcing and collaborating and compromising are some other important areas of the conflict styles. Now, prior to conflict occurring, formal policies, employee training. When conflict occurs, employees should try to solve conflicts, third party intervention. These are something you can just read it and just understand. So I come to the end of this chapter. Gentlemen, take care. Have a nice time. Stay safe. Enjoy your day. I hope it has been good for you. And hopefully I will be back with another chapter. I think the last chapter, or this could be the last chapter. Study the last one. So please take care of yourself. Stay safe. Thank you. Bye.